Am I just allergic to air? Because nothing made sense. How cool my shirt is. I love a sauce collision. God, I am out of practice. It's only been a few weeks and I literally have no idea what I'm doing. Yay for allergies. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel. First tanning trials in a while, I'm not gonna lie to you, first video in a while actually, and I'm really sorry about it. I had an allergic reaction to something and we were trying to figure out what it was. I'll put some pictures on the screen. I mean, if you're a bit squeamish, like don't look right now. But yeah, it's just got to the point now where it looks a little bit like a birthmark rather than anything. Am I just allergic to air? Because nothing made sense. Yay for allergies! But jumping right back in. So this tanning trials video is going to be on the Isle of Paradise tanning oil mist. Isle of Paradise is a brand that I've done a couple of videos on. I did one on the Clear Self Tanner, which I'll link above. I also did another one on the Mr. Spray bottle thing that they brought out, which actually maybe I won't link them on the screen, maybe I will put them in the description because that's a lot of videos to take in. But yeah, for this week's video, we are going to be talking about my experience testing out this bad boy. From testing this brand in the past, I can definitely see there is a difference between this clear tanning mist as well as the clear tanning foam or the mousse that they brought out. First of all, it's in this handy dandy little bottle. They do still have the same shade range, so you've got, I think it's 4 different shades to choose from. I decided to go with the medium tanning mist just because my base skin layer isn't really that dark right now. Honestly, my skin has not seen the sun for like nearly a year. It's been so bad. I literally can't wait to go on holiday. I'm sure many of you feel exactly the same, but till then I'll be faking it till I go away. Plus, using fake tan over going on sunbeds and like in the sun in general is so much better for your skin long term. But that's a whole different conversation that we're not having right now. We're talking about this. Literally my own fault for going off on a tangent. Sorry everyone. God, I am out of practice. It's only been a few weeks and I literally have no idea what I'm doing. So this brand is vegan and cruelty free. It's also very reasonably priced. I wouldn't say it's priced like super high end, but it's also not like Revolution £10 fake tan. So what makes this particular tan different to all the other products they have in their range, as well as tans in general, is that this is an oil-based mist. This is supposed to help hydrate your skin whilst you tan. As I said, it's a clear tan, so you literally spritz it on your body and then it gradually gets darker and darker over time. I would also say with a product like this, I don't really feel like there's a need to wash it off before you like go out or anything. Obviously, when it comes to the smell of fake tan, if you are going out, maybe I would recommend you rinse it off before you head out. As usual for me, I always apply tan before I go to bed. It's just a thing because I'm way too impatient to apply it in the day and just wait. So this is what my body looked like before I got started. As I said before, my base tan is more on the fairer side at the moment. Before I started applying the tan, I also did the usual, so exfoliate, shave and moisturize the day before. I also moisturized probably about an hour or 2 before I applied the tan. As you'll see from the clips, you have to really give this product a very good shake. I don't know why I was doing that whilst I was talking. I'm just covering my own voice. So you have to shake it before you apply it. It also has a really cute little spritzer, which makes it super easy for you to apply. Obviously, if you are more of a tanning beginner, I wouldn't recommend using a clear tan straight away because it is kind of difficult to see where you've applied versus where you haven't. That's why tanning mousses, which have guide layers on, are really great for beginners because you can see what you're doing, you can see if it's streaky, you can see where you've missed, you can see where you definitely haven't missed, all of that good stuff. But if you are somebody like me that tans on a regular basis, you end up having a routine that you go through where you know you've kind of covered everything you need to cover. Obviously, application in the clips and stuff is not going to be that exciting purely because you can't see anything really. It's just like if I was spraying water on my body. Obviously, I'm not spraying water on my body, but you know, you understand the concept. It literally just looks like I'm spraying water because it's clear. I did a couple of spritzes up my arms, avoiding my hands to start with, and then I sort of go across my chest towards the other arm and sort of just letting it dry. They say as well for when you finish doing the rest of your body that you should slowly and gently buff it in with a brush onto your hands and onto your feet. Same with your neck. I did apply this onto my face as well. Literally, it just went on. I buffed it into my skin. Who knows what's going to happen until the morning. So once that had all dried, I believe it took probably about like 5 minutes for me to be confident that I could put my clothes back on. I did, I think, do 2 layers. I had to do the top part of my arm and then remember to turn it to do the underside, just because when you're applying tan with a mitt and mousse, you know, you kind of can see that you need to do the underside of your arms and things like that. You can see where the spray would have missed. But yeah, on the whole, application was really super easy. Also, because it was a spray like mist situation, The spray was quite strong and it was very full, so you knew you were getting quite a lot of product in just a couple of sprays. As well, it made it super easy for me to do my back and the backs of my legs. I just kind of onto my back, and that was great. It was good enough for me because a lot of the time my arms are long for a short person. I'm a very lanky short person. They just don't quite get everywhere that I need to rub on my back, so it's just having something to just spray and pray, just hope for the best, was better than nothing. One thing that I will say to you, if you do decide that you want to use this particular product or the misting bottle, please do this in a room where it maybe has like tiles, like the bathroom, or it's like a big open space where there's not a lot of stuff around. It gets everywhere, and this is something that I struggled with last time when I used the spray mister bottle. It went absolutely everywhere. It was all over the floor. The floor was wet because obviously it wasn't absorbing into skin. It was just a layer of tan just sitting on the floor. Last time it sprayed on the wall, luckily because it was clear, it didn't leave any kind of like splatters of tan because it's clear, it didn't transfer onto anything. But if you get it on like wallpaper and stuff, because it's oily, it might stain and it might leave marks. So it was just something to be wary of. Very, very important. 100% recommend, like I said, bigger room or like against a surface that you can wipe down just to make sure that it doesn't go everywhere, or in the shower. Other than that, application was pretty easy. You know, just make sure you got a mop on hand for when you have finished. Maybe do the mopping whilst you're waiting for your body to dry, but it didn't take very long for me to be able to put my clothes back on. Just a loose fitting pair of pajamas, got into bed, obviously because it's clear, there was no transfer onto my sheet. When I woke up in the morning, it didn't smell too, actually just to say, it didn't smell too bad. It isn't really helpful for anybody. Out of 10, the fake tan smell was probably about a 6. I don't know whether or not that's because of the amount that I used, maybe because it's a little bit oily, you know. Also, I woke up and my skin was pretty much like if I'd put moisturizer on and gone to bed and woken up, it was that kind of like, my skin was hydrated, it didn't feel super thirsty or anything, it felt pretty normal. I don't know why I'm craking this so tightly whilst I'm talking. There's absolutely no need for it. I went and showered in the morning, rinsed my body, and I could see instantly that the glow was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't as intense as I thought it was gonna be, but one of the good things about this particular product is that you can kind of build it up over the course of like a few days. Obviously, make sure you're moisturizing in between and stuff so your skin has like the perfect base for this product to go on top of. If you do want to build it up, that's something I would 100% say you need to do. But yeah, literally, it's super easy. You can just spritz it over your body, say if you've like maybe missed a little bit, or if it doesn't stick to particular areas on your body as well, you can kind of like build it up over time. I get it really bad on my neck. It doesn't always take there, and especially on my chest, it really doesn't take there very well. So once I'd woken up and had a look at my skin, I then went the next night and applied a second layer. As you can see now, we're looking pretty good. So because it's an oil-based mist, it really did hydrate my skin. The formula was really light, so it didn't clog my pores, even though I was kind of like layering it on. The worst place I get it is my chest, and there was very minimal pore clogging on my chest, which was amazing. As well, I applied it onto my face, as you guys saw, and then buffed it in, and there really wasn't that much clogging of pores at all. Like, I always get clogged pores on my nose, so I was kind of expecting that to be a little bit. I would say probably like a 4 out of 10. Didn't really take on my cheeks. This area of my face, the T-zone around my mouth where I guess my skin is a bit dry, it always takes around here and the sides of the nostril. It really took on those parts. So like this area of my mouth was a lot darker than the rest of my face. I did try and rectify it by just doing a small spritz on each cheek. It kind of worked, but maybe not as much as I wanted to. Quite difficult to get a really even finish to your face. If you're like me, you have completely different textures on your face. I have very oily skin in the middle of my face, like in the T-zone area, but then my cheeks are like normal, and then I get a bit of dry skin like underneath here, as you can see, and it really did cling to the drier parts of my face, but it wasn't to the point where I was like, oh my god, I need to scrub it off. It was just a bit like, oh okay, it's taken to that bit, nothing a bit of makeup can't cover up. But yeah, as the week went on, and after I think it was like day 3 or 4, I did start to notice that the tan was slowly disappearing from my skin, not in a way where it was super obvious or like tiger bready or anything, but because my skin was so hydrated from obviously the oils in the mist as well as me doing a regular moisturizing routine, it did fade really well and very evenly. The only parts I will say that were more obvious were my hands, just because I was washing them quite a lot, so my hands were a lot fairer than the rest of my body. But other than that, it faded really nicely. I love the fact that if it isn't exactly how you want it to be the first time, you can kind of just keep topping it up as you go along. As long as you're moisturizing in between, you know, don't just assume that this is like a substitute for moisturizer. It's not. It does recommend on the bottle that you do moisturize in between topping up your tan. It's definitely not a substitute for moisturizer, okay? That's one thing. Lazy people, don't do it. Do not do that. So yeah, overall, my experience with this tan, I think if you are somebody that wants an easy life, this is something that's really great for you. This is really easy to apply. Love the fact this is oil-based, so it's not only nourishing your skin at the same time as tanning you, but it can really help the tan kind of go on a bit better, because if your skin is dry, it's not gonna stick as well as if your skin is like really hydrated. And this is the whole point of doing like proper prep before you tan. Really good selection of shades to choose from as well. Relatively affordable, super accessible. You can get this in at so many different places, online and in store. Love the fact that if you're like me and you apply tan and sometimes you're not 100% satisfied with how dark it is, you can just keep topping it up as the days go on. So that is it for this week's video, my experience testing out the Isle of Paradise self-tanning oil mist. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up so I know. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. You guys know what to do. I'll leave a link to the Tanning Trials playlist, but if you want to carry on watching and seeing what I think of a plethora of different tans that I've tried. I'll also leave a link on the screen to my social media in case you are super nosy or you just want to see what I'm getting up to. That's basically 2 ways of saying nosy. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, whatever it is you are doing. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye guys.